Welcome back to...
Last time we...
And today we're killing spiders. And doing it wrong.
Are you sure you're killing spiders?
I did that time.
Well, he was trying to scare the spider first.
Ooh, you're gonna feel this.
So this isn't a spoiler for anyone who's played this game, necessarily. But now that we've gone through Jabu Jabu's belly, there's a big story progression thing that happens pretty much immediately after. And there's a good bit you can do right now before that happens. But,
Crack.
right, like break your back. But once you've done that, it takes a good while before we're able to come back to any of these places, so I want to get them done now.
Yeah, at this point, this game's been out. It's so popular now that I don't think it is really a spoiler anymore. Like, I've never played this game, and I know what happens in this game.
Yeah, but, like, there's a thread going on right now for someone going through it completely blind.
Really?
Really. Granted, they passed this part, but still. I'm just playing it safe by this point.
Like, it's almost a question of how they managed to avoid anything about that. If they're, if they're gamers, I imagine that'd be very difficult.
If you watch the thread, you'd question if they are. And that's all I'm gonna say.
Like, you think they're maybe fainting a little bit ignorance?
I don't know. I'm not gonna call them out for anything, because that'd be mean.
Controversy! Oh.
They're cool, but...
Oh. Hello there, you murderous bastard.
That's such a nerdy thing to do, though. It's just like, you don't know about this video game? Hey, guys, go attack him. Like, shut up. It's a fucking game.
Attack of the ignorance.
So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of Skulltulas, a lot of the dirt patches. Also, this guy... I destroyed his privacy.
I surrender. I love that.
This is actually a good one, though. He's what gives us the Deku Stick upgrade.
See, Ocarina of Time kind of fits under those categories of games that are just so popular and you hear so much about it that I just don't care to play it. There's a couple games out there that kind of like that, like Kingdom Hearts, you know? I'm just like, I just don't care enough to play it.
Although, to be fair, I don't think the guys who write Kingdom Hearts know what's happening in Kingdom Hearts either.
I play Kingdom Hearts too, and enough said. Hey, you're inside of a bottle.
I can kind of see how... I kind of understand what you mean. Like, me, personally, I've never seen Star Wars, but it's been so popular, it shows up so often in pop culture, that I know everything about it, and now I just don't even care. Like, I know all the big story spoilers and all that shit, but I still don't care about Star Wars.
I think there's certain things, like, and I'll take this game and Star Wars as example, that I call it the rose-tinted eyeglass effect.
Oh, definitely.
Where the joy of it comes from, oh yeah, I did this as a child. And at that point, it seemed like it was more amazing than it was. It's like, kind of like when people said things were better back in the 90s. Not necessarily, but, you know, if... As your kid, if you think so, and great for you.
It's because when you were a kid, you didn't know what was shit.
Exactly.
And I played Quest 64 as a kid, and even when I was, like, between 7 and 9, I knew that game sucked.
My favorite thing to imagine when somebody says, like, oh man, things were better in the 90s. I'm like, okay, go back in time and try to use the internet. Tell me how awesome it is now.
I love you. Well, see, like, I could definitely admit that kid thing where just you didn't know the difference between bad games. Because, look, I played the game Rise of Robots, one of the games considered, like, one of the worst games ever made, and I liked it. I'm sure if I played it back now, I'd be like, what the fuck?
I liked Shadow the Hedgehog for a whole week when I got it for Christmas.
I don't know if that counts.
Okay, I forced myself to like it.
But to be fair, I forget that you are a good amount younger than I am, so...
I'm not that young.
Well, yeah, but compared to me. I don't even know how old you are, I'm just guessing.
I'm 6.
Close enough.
21.
Okay.
So now I'm just throwing bombs into a vase, but there's a trick to this. What I'm trying to do is to not get the angry face. What I wanted to do is to land on happy face. And then I get a heart piece.
Ooh. I hate this place. Let's leave.
Yay for camera doing weird things.
You know, I feel like a little bit of deja vu because we have discussed the whole people that tend to look at games that are foundational as like the best form of the game, which I don't necessarily agree with. It's the difference between saying it's the best and respecting what the game did.
Right.
I can respect Ocarina of Time for, you know, establishing the foundation. It's not the best 3D Legend of Zelda. I don't care what any of you guys say.
I do feel weird, though, because, like I've said, this is the best version of it to me. So having played through the entire game, I enjoyed it all the way through. I never felt like any nostalgia or anything was painting my view of it. Also, that's how you get a bomb bag upgrade. You need to hit that guy with the bomb while he's behind that wall.
I think my favorite thing when people remember like how their favorite games or whatever is it's always like this grand, amazing story. Like it's never like, oh yeah, I played Ocarina of Time and it was fun. It was like, when I was 6, I went down to the video store with the allowance I had, and I looked over the rack and I saw Ocarina of Time for the N64. Like it's okay, relax. First of all, you just picked it off the rack and you played it and you had a great time. That's what happened, kid.
See, I feel like people are very selective with their memories. I'm willing to admit the games I played that were shit that I loved. Because, like, you know, people act like they went to the store and bought Legend of Zelda the first game. In between their copies of Jurassic Park 2, and, like, you know, it's like, you know that, you know, they played a number of shitty games beforehand, or in between, or afterwards. I know I did, I'll admit it.
Do you mind romanticizing one of them for me?
Let's see.
I actually did like Shadow the Hedgehog, if that helps. Keep in mind, I don't know how old I was at the time, but
I thought it was awesome too when it first came out.
I remember the time that it was around Christmas, and I so desired a particular game for my system that just seemed like the most fun could possibly be had. It just seemed like a technological marvel. So when I opened my package and I saw Lethal Weapon the game, I smiled.
That's it, you just smiled. You didn't play it. You just smiled and you knew I'm gonna have an awesome time. What is that?
Shard of Agony?
Shard of Agony. If you play the N64 version, you might remember you got a Stone of Agony. What it was something that was connected to the Rumble Pack, which wasn't built into the controller. It was this thing you had to plug into it. And whenever you came across a secret, your controller would vibrate. Since that functionality isn't in this anymore, instead the Shard of Agony just dings at you, which I think is easier. Well, you remember a long time ago, we got the Keaton mask from the Happy Mask Salesman, so now let's actually do the Mask Salesman side quest. Now, he says he wants it for his kid, but he's the one who wears it, and he wears it forever.
Over the helmet.
What'd you do with my mask?
Miyamoto.
Me a mask salesman.
I imagine when he closes shop, the mouth closes on that giant head. Time to close.
Now, the skull mask, fittingly enough, goes to the Skull Kid.
And so his power grows, thanks.
He's got a limp.
Okay, how can you do a really cool flip like that and then you just kind of saunter over to me?
Because you landed wrong. You just heard crack. Wiggle, wiggle.
He starts using his flute as a cane. Hang on.
He's still trying to look cool, though.
But he did another backflip.
Oop. I did that because I'm annoyed because I actually lost money on that deal. It's a 20 rupee mask, and I have to pay back 20 rupees, but he only gave me 10. Oh, I want that. But then we gotta do this.
I remember in the original version, it just looked like a plate. It didn't even look like anything.
Just a slab of wood.
So another beautiful story of my gaming exploits is I do remember that I was a kid who loved fantasy. I loved dragons and monsters and knights and things like that, and I thought, wow, there's a game out that would perfectly match my dream of getting just the most powerful badass to fight the most powerful monsters ever. And of course, you guys know exactly where I'm going with this. I bought Dragonheart for the Game Boy. And it turned out being terrible, like, even then. To big surprise. Seeing a 2D image of Kevin Costner did not help.
I think you mean that was an awesome game and fucking Kevin Costner was in.
That should have been like a plus sign on IGN. Pros, Kevin Costner's 2D image. Negatives, Sean Connery dragon 2D images.
And too much water.
And too much water. Now I want to listen to a game reviewer that played games like that but could say it with a straight face.
So you might recall earlier something about Dompe's heart-stopping grave-digging tour. Now we're actually going on it, and I think heart-stopping refers to it takes so long for him to get anywhere that you might die from a heart attack.
Basically the Majora's Mask issue, right? Where he did the same thing.
Exactly.
Are you going to speed it up to a hilarious effect?
I think I do. But first, you remember in this area where we got the Hylian shield, we can actually bomb this wall and discover a fairy fountain. In case you really are dying waiting for Dompe to do his shit.
Isn't it ironic that like if they put dead people here, they could have probably revived them at the graveyard? In the graveyard.
Well, there was a giant wall to prevent that, but now we kind of broke it.
And the fairies more heal wounds, not life.
That was pretty lame there, Thor.
I do it for you.
Thank you.
Everything I do.
I do it for you.
Wow, this model looks just like Bryan Adams.
So I'd say this is the 100% run killer if you're a speedrunner.
It's likely.
Hey!
Because the heart piece is randomized.
Yeah.
So now you can leave.
Yes. And come back during the day. Because the person who buys the spooky mask is the kid who's wandering around pretending to be Dompe.
Isn't that depressing? I grew up, I'm going to be a gravedigger. In the most depressing town ever, I guess.
And live there.
You'll notice his model was actually used for the bombers in Majora's Mask.
Oh yeah, if you put a headband on it. Him, not it. He's not his boy.
Alright, where would you not want to live more? Kokiri Village or Lower City?
Well, Lower City has plumbing.
We don't know that for sure.
You mean Kakariko Village? Because Kokiri
Yeah.
Village is kind of nice place.
I know, I mean Kakariko, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you were... I thought you were talking about Kakariko. No, that place... Lower City's got nothing, Travis. We were there.
Buildings collapsed, you know.
So there's a reason that I specifically went and got the last wallet before coming here. It's because of this guy. He doesn't show up until you've beaten Jabu Jabu. And he's the guy who takes the bunny hood. He also takes forever to stop fucking running. Because he's the running man.
I like how Groose is running at the moment.
Yeah. If you look in the back, you could see a giant pea hat. Watch this. I always love this. Ah, I'm gonna get you! Ah, I'm tired.
Day 376, almost attacked someone again. Went pretty well. I remember this one beautiful moment in my life where I was really wanting a game of one of my favorite childhood characters. And I'm just going to keep it short. I played Batman Forever, and it was...
You know, I actually do have a romanticized story, but I'm going to save it for later.
That's fair.
So this is why I wanted to get the final wallet. Because he literally fills your wallet to the brim.
And he just gets murdered by the skull people. Okay.
Whew, I'm tired. Oh god, I better start running again.
And he also put the mask over his eyes. He can't even see himself die.
Is that you, Captain?
So, where are we heading to now?
We're heading to a little secret over here. You'd hear that cow. It's another hidden grotto. And a unique one. This is a good place to show off Din's fire. Because fire burns away cobwebs.
And burns down trees.
And does that.
Whoa, hey.
Whoa, easy there.
You made all these? Well, not anymore.
Thanks, jerk.
I don't actually need to kill that thing.
Poor damn cows.
The Skulltula is hiding behind the cow, yeah.
Leave the cows alone.
I don't know how they keep getting stuck in these little holes.
Moo, that hurt. I had some milk, but not for you.
At least you have bugs to play with.
Patty cake, patty cake.
Stomp, stomp, crush.
Take me a cake or I'll eat your lunch. Now, we haven't been to this area yet. There's not too much we can do here. Gerudo Valley. And it's a good thing that the sun's coming up, because Gerudo Valley has one of, like, my all-time favorite overworld themes.
I think that's pretty universal for a lot of people.
Not just Zelda, in any game ever.
It's a good thing I got that Skulltula before the sun came up, because they disappear when it's daytime.
There's been so many damn covers of this song.
Yeah.
And remixes.
I can get a heart piece with the help of this Kuko. But first, I want to kind of just get a look at the area.
You wait your turn, Kuko.
The waterfall heads down to Lake Hylia. And Gerudo Valley, well, it's being blocked off by the Gerudo themselves. It's a band of all-female thieves who live out in the desert. They only have one male born every 100 years, and that was Ganondorf, and we know where that ended up.
I just love the way that the echo, it actually echoes the chicken too. Yeah, I'll just drown here in mid-flight. I can do this.
Oh, that's not the right angle. There we go.
Just grinding its face against the stone.
He's still not blinking.
There's just a blood like streak and it doesn't even flinch.
There's also a ledge down here, though.
Oh.
I'm gonna kill a chicken.
Oh yeah, that's smart.
And another cow.
Well, see, this one at least makes sense.
It really does it, though. It's at the bottom of a canyon.
Don't look at my cow.
Or my G-string.
I won't judge the Gerudos for their fashion sense. It's hot there.
But that's double padding. That doesn't help.
Wait, she just turns around. What are you doing?
This is one of our useless dirt patches. Because aside from the gold Skulltula, it doesn't really take you anyplace necessarily. It just kind of gets you back up on the ledge.
Yeah, and super cool dive.
And nearly hit the riverbed.
Just looks like, god damn that kid. He's good. He just did that without flinching. I'm gonna jump now.
Yeah, I can't believe that kid planted bugs, killed a spider, and then jumped off. I wonder if he's alive.
I can't even tell if he's holding his breath or not. I mean, I can't even tell if he breathes.
Is he alive?
He's moving. That's about the. He's moving is his only indication of life.
Does he know that he's alive?
I think he's like, is there a pretty Zorgo around here? And he just walked away.
I'm really lonely.
Really pretty Zorgos around here, puts a wig on your head. Now there is.
I'm still human.
I'd be scared if I knew what fear was.
Be scared if I knew what a wig was.
I'd be scared if I knew what scared was.
That's the same thing.
I'm not very bright.
Oh, and a Skulltula growing out of the rock.
Skulltula?
Or Skull Kid. Or no, Stall Child.
I mean,
Strike 3.
wait, wait, is... Okay.
Stall Childs are... Those are Stall Childs.
Stuff has Stalfos.
They're the child version of Stalfos.
Oh.
So fuck Zelda enemy names?
Yeah.
I'll call them whatever the hell I want.
10 rupees for a heart piece, hell yeah.
Thanks, Plant Doofus. I mean Deku.
That's Skull Kid.
Did he just osmosis over that gate?
Are you really surprised by this point?
No, I'm just saying that's how other people respond to it. Did he just osmosis over the gate?
So actually during the day that grotto is covered up, but during the night the hole just spontaneously opens. I hear scratching.
God, that moon's in a hurry.
Whoa!
Whoa.
Oh shit, oh shit.
And it's also pretty looking and not horrifying.
Yeah.
The moon's smiling. It's creepy.
Oh, my favorite.
Not talking to you.
I feel ignored. This is bullshit.
The moon does move very quickly, so you want to get the Skulltulas relatively quick, at least before you get the Sun Song, at which point who gives a shit.
The tides.
That's a good point. The Gerudo are crying because you've changed the weather patterns. They don't get rain anymore. You know what? Fuck you. We're gonna send our mail to murder you now. Hey, what's up?
Well, that's not cryptic.
That octopus is definitely not cryptic.
So there's a hole underneath this grave, but I can't move it while he's standing on it.
He knew it. Huh? Huh? I guess I'm gonna have to move, huh? Stupid.
You've been ignoring me. I don't like that. Let's talk. I got nothing. What about you?
You know, he just starts recapping, just like, so you leave a village, and you go into a tree. Yes, I know. I did that a long time ago. Talk to a princess. That was weird. That was like a jet takeoff.
You're right, that was a colossal waste of my life.
You might be wondering what I'm doing here. I'm not sure. I'm leaving.
And it's just these three twats. And
I missed you. Bye. Not anymore.
anytime you see a grotto with those 3 Deku Scrubs, they're not going to sell you anything you really need.
And hit Spike Rock.
Where's the clown? Come on, where's the clown?
And break your knees on the roof.
So this is pain. That's your left leg. This is your right.
I want some more money.
You just see him on the top. Hey.
Just worth it.
Now I can pay for the surgery to repair my legs.
Oh yeah!
I just don't imagine him being that peppy. Like, oh yeah! Just like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hi. I just imagine with a Steve Buscemi voice.
I can't do a Steve Buscemi.
I don't think really many people can. Except for Steve Buscemi.
And that's how we get the Mask of Truth. It has more or less the same function as it does in Majora's Mask. Anytime you see a gossip stone, put on the mask, it'll tell you an interesting little tidbit. And also you can use it to creep people out if you go up wearing it.
I kind of wonder, like, did the team have the idea for Majora's Mask at some point in the creation of Ocarina of Time, because it either means that they created the characters of the Masked Salesman and the Skull Kid to kind of fit the arc, or they just liked those characters so much they wanted them to come back.
Actually, I heard recently that one of the guys was working on it. He was actually working on a board game that was about cops and robbers, or catching the thief or something, but you had 7 days to do it. And Miyamoto and some other guy decided to bring him aboard. I was like, hey, I know you're doing that thing, but come over here, we're doing a thingy. And then that ended up being Majora's Mask.
Huh.
Originally, Majora's Mask did have a 7-day cycle, but then they shaved it down to 3.
I feel like Miyamoto just lives on a whim on everything he does.
Well, it seems to work for him most of the time.
He probably has a personal assistant whose life's a living hell. Gotta keep him happy.
Sir, we still have somebody to meet from 2001?
Why do you want a cowboy hat full of cottage cheese? You know what? I'm not gonna even ask.
But that reminds me of this one Christmas I had.
Oh, yeah?
Well, a long time ago, you see. I wanted a video game. And, as you know, I grew up very poor. So one Christmas Eve, my family members give me a game. And my soul just infused with so much happiness. I smiled, and I opened the package, and inside was the Incredible Hulk for the GameCube, based off the original movie.
Metacritic 10 out of 10.
And that game was so good that I played the first 5 minutes, found a cheat online to skip to the last chapter, beat it, and I never touched it ever again.
Remember all those dogs you had to fight in that game? That was bullshit. I played that game too. It was non.
I remember nothing about that game except how much I hated it.
I have to admit, the one they made later, where it was a free roaming city, was the funnest shit ever.
That's why that was partially the reason why I was excited, because I thought that was the one where he put the cars on his arms and he got to beat the shit out of people.
He would surf on a bus.
And he would do all this cool shit. I was like, yeah, I got the Incredible Hulk. And then I played it. I'm like, oh, it's the movie Incredible Hulk.
I remember when I got the game, I might have brought this up before, but I got the game, it was like X-Men Wolverine's Origins. And there was just I got really excited because I like X-Men. I was a big X-Men fanatic when I was a kid. So I played this as a older kid, but either way, I just remember this point where I was getting excited. Oh my god, I'm gonna go fight Sabretooth as the first boss. What? The AI was so broken. And I got into this boss fight, and it's really intense. Music started playing, and then because the AI got stuck, it was playing that music, and then Sabretooth was just doing backflips in place over and over and over. He did it the entire fight, so I would just wait till he hit the ground, slashed him, he did another backflip, and he just slashed him. But it was great because this intense music was playing, he just was doing a backflip, another backflip.
He was backflipping to stop you from doing a backflip.
Yes. He kicked my ninja for a backflip.
I guess old Marvel games didn't have good AI because when I was playing the Incredible Hulk game and I got to the last chapter by skipping the entire game because it was horrible, I think I threw the final boss behind a barrier and he couldn't come back to me and I couldn't reach him. And I couldn't cross the barrier, so I accidentally just kind of fucked myself over and I couldn't beat him and the game was just stuck. Then I actually bothered to restart it and try again and I beat the game and then I broke it.
I do remember this one game that I rented from Blockbuster and I was just like, you know what, this is going to be the game that establishes the new generation. It was called Booger Man. Try to guess what that was about. Here's the thing, that game was actually pretty good.
It's about Michael Keaton.
If only.
You see, you said that immediately after the Wolverine thing, so for a second I thought you were for real.
No, the funny thing is, if you look up ratings of Booger Man, it's got ratings of 4.5 out of 5 and shit. It was during the era of Ren and Stimpy when everything was trying to be Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah.
It was a pretty dumb game, though. No, it wasn't a pretty dumb. It was a very dumb game. And then Clay Fighters. I remember that one. Actually, I remember the theme song. Not that I'm going to sing it, but I remember it.
When I was a kid, I was a huge fan of the Tony Hawk games.
Here I am.
Because they were pretty much all awesome.
Getting older all the time. I'm getting older all the time. Feeling younger in my mind.
So, I was super excited when my parents got me this one game on Christmas. It was Tony Hawk Pro Skater The first one for the Game Boy Color, where all you did was go up and down a ramp.
Oh god.
I never played it more than 5 minutes.
Because you knew how amazing it was.
I don't know. I still feel like Dragonheart, the video game, kind of beat it out in terms of quality. So yeah, why don't we hear more people talk about those games?
I just want the comments to be filled with stories.
Please tell us more stories about the shitty games you played and give it a dramatic. Romanticize the shit out of it. Put on those rose-tinted glasses and just show us the shit you've done. Wow. I'm watching like the only video of YouTube of the Dragonheart game for the Game Boy, and the first image they show is glitching out.
You know what? Romanticize stuff that isn't even about video games. Just put whatever. One time, I felt the rush of falling down a flight of stairs. This actually happened for real. This isn't a joke. I actually fell down the stairs, but I missed all of the stairs. I just fell and hit the ground.
I did that once.
And it hurt. And it reminded me that life fucks us all. Which is a good moral lesson.
I remember that my neighborhood once had a July 4th parade that just went through the neighborhood, and we had a bunch of kids dressed like Uncle Sam, and I was dressed like Uncle Sam, and I got into a fist fight with another kid dressed as Uncle Sam. So it was just two little kids dressed like Uncle Sam punching each other in the face.
God damn it. Well, one time, I had an asthma attack, and...
Is that the whole story?
It really happened.
No, that was like beginning, middle, end. Like, oh.
Oh shit, I'm lightheaded. Oh god.
The asthma attack is coming back.
I didn't even get to tell the rest, but that was true.
Well, I'm sure it was, and that's the funny part. One time I got diarrhea at school. Which isn't true. I got diarrhea several times.
That day.
Just fuck getting up at 6:30 in the morning.
Jesus.
The windows of our lives. Asthma, Uncle Sam.
And diarrhea.
And diarrhea.